part of our 18 media course, we had to produce an advanced portfolio which consisted of a main product and 2 ancillary products. Our main product was a 5-minute documentary opening on a topic of our choice, and our 2 ancillary products were a double-page spread TV listing and also a radio advert. So for our topic, we chose to use domestic violence, as we felt it was a topic that our target audience may be unaware of and lacking in knowledge, and we wanted to demonstrate the issue of domestic violence in society and the effect that it had on individuals. Our primary target audience was teenagers between the ages of 16 to 18, and we conducted a focus group in order to get some feedback from our audience. In doing this, we found out what they liked about the 3 products, as well as what they felt could be improved or what didn't work as well as it could have. To gather this feedback, we used a questionnaire to find out our primary audience's opinions on all 3 products. I also wanted to gather some feedback from a member of my secondary audience. In this case, I used my 15-year-old brother, as I wanted to find out what the younger generation knew about domestic violence. One of the main issues in terms of our documentary from our audience feedback was the fact that at times sound levels were quite poor, meaning that the audience couldn't actually hear what was being said.
I think the audio was a bit too loud and I could kind of see the girl's face that was trying to blur out.
From this audience feedback, I've learned that we should have ensured that we checked all of our audio and our sound clips to make sure that the sounds were actually in working order and could be heard against the soundtrack and other various sounds that we used within our documentary. The first question that we asked in our questionnaire was what age range the target audience felt that the documentary was aimed at. The majority of our focus group felt as though our documentary was aimed at individuals between the ages of 19 to 25. However, this was not the age range that we were trying to target, as our documentary was actually aimed at sixth form students between the ages of 16 to 18. So this demonstrates the fact that our documentary did not serve the purpose of the age range that we were trying to target. However, I did receive a different answer from a member of my secondary audience.
I think it appeals to 14 to 18s because the language you've used can be understood by people in that age range.
The next question in our questionnaire was, what have you learnt from the documentary? For our question 2, the main response we got from our target audience was the fact that they had learnt a lot from the stats and figures that we had included in our documentary. Another common answer amongst our target audience was the fact that they said they had also learnt a lot about what domestic violence could be defined as, which suggests that they didn't actually know much about the topic itself and were lacking in knowledge on the subject.
I've learned the definition of domestic violence because I didn't know what it was before.
One of the main aims of our documentary was to actually raise awareness on domestic violence and inform our target audience on what it was. A lot of our target audience members have actually suggested that they found out what domestic violence was, which suggests that they didn't really know much about it in the first place. So we have successfully met one of our aims through the production of our documentary by using statistics and other various facts which have proved that domestic violence is a rising issue in the UK. Our third question was, did you find the documentary interesting? We decided to ask this question as we wanted to find out whether our documentary was engaging and interesting, or whether it was actually quite boring and dull for the audience.
Yeah, I did find it quite interesting because I learned the definition of domestic violence, and also it was good having a real first-hand experience from a person instead of an actor doing it.
For this question, 100% of our answers stated yes, they did find the documentary interesting. This demonstrates the fact that we have successfully managed to engage the attention of our audience through the use of a variety of devices, such as expert interviews, vox pops, but also stats and facts and figures. The next thing that we wanted to find out from our primary and secondary audiences was whether they felt that the title of the documentary accurately represented what was actually shown within the documentary.
Yeah, I do think the title is quite good because it does summarise what the documentary is about.
The members of our primary audience also agreed yes, the documentary's title did summarise what the documentary was about and accurately represented the things that would be covered within the documentary. However, many of our primary audience failed to expand on this, which meant that we were quite limited with our analysis of this question. The final question that we asked both audiences was what they thought that the documentary's purpose was, whether it was to inform, to educate or entertain.
Yeah, I think it was to inform and to educate because I've learned something from it, and I'm sure anyone else that watched it will as well.
The next product that we wanted feedback on from our primary audience was what they thought about our radio trailer. We asked the following questions. Does the music reflect the topic? Does the radio advert grab your attention? what could be improved, and is the date, time and channel mentioned? So the first question was, does the music reflect the topic? Now 100% of our respondents said that yes, they felt that the music did reflect the topic. So this shows that the music we used was successful as it accurately represented domestic violence. I chose to use this music as I felt that I didn't want to use music which was too light-hearted or too upbeat, and I also deliberately did use music which had lyrics in it, as I felt that it wouldn't be appropriate for the topic which we are doing, as domestic violence is a very serious topic. So the next question was, does the radio advert grab your attention? So again, 100% of the audience said that yes, the radio advert does grab their attention. None of the audience actually said that it didn't grab their attention, which is beneficial as it shows that music and various other devices we have used in the radio advert, such as vox pops and other sound effects, have been engaging enough to maintain the audience's attention throughout. Nobody said that they found it boring or started to lose interest, so this suggests that the radio advert has carried out its job. So, the third question was, what could be improved? Now for this we had mixed responses. Some felt that they didn't need anything to be improved, whilst others said that it would have been more better if we had used a specific date rather than just mentioning the day that the documentary will be broadcast. As well as this, they said that we could have even used the same music that we used in the documentary as opposed to using different music. And then pretty much the answers were very similar. Again, it was just the music. Some said the music was too loud as well, so it was harder to hear the voices and what was actually being said, and harder to hear the date like channel and things like that. But apart from that, there was no further improvements to the radio training. So the fourth and final question that we asked our primary audience was, is date, time and channel mentioned? So again, all of them answered yes. However, some, like previously mentioned, said that we should have used the exact date of the week rather than just using the day. Because I only mentioned Thursday in the radio advert, the audience would have preferred if I'd actually said a specific date so they knew exactly what day of the week, as they felt that Thursday was a little bit too vague. So, overall, from the feedback from my target audience, I have learned a lot about what they felt about the radio trailer. Some gave quite positive comments, however, there were some negative comments which have led me to believe that if we had made these changes, we would have been able to create more of a successful radio trailer. The improvements that the audience gave were that the music was too loud, firstly, so they felt that they couldn't actually hear what was being said, making the message we were trying to put across harder to understand. As well as this, some even said that the music used should have been used from a documentary as opposed to using brand new music. So, by doing this, we would have been able to actually link our products, making them more integrated, rather than making it quite random, as the audience felt that it did really link to the main documentary. As well as this, whilst the time and channel were mentioned, as well as the day of the week that the documentary will be shown, the audience would have preferred if the date was mentioned, rather than just using Thursday, as they felt it was a little bit too vague and didn't really provide them with enough information. So the final product that we wanted feedback on was our double page spread. We asked the following 4 questions. Was the colour scheme appropriate for the topic? Would you watch the documentary after reading the article? Is the article interesting? And if not, what could be improved? So for the first question, was the colour scheme appropriate for the topic? All of the target audience said that yes, they felt that the colour scheme was appropriate for the topic of domestic violence. The next question was, would you watch the documentary after reading the article? Again, all of the target audience said that yes, they would watch the documentary after reading the article, which suggests that they found the article interesting enough and wanted to know more about the topic of domestic violence. So the next question was, is the article interesting? So again, all of the members of our target audience said that yes, they did find the article to be interesting, which suggests that the themes and topics covered within the article were appealing and engaging, and the audience weren't bored at any point. So the fourth and final question was, if not, what could be improved? So the answers for this question were very varied, and we didn't have any answers the same. All of the members of the target audience had a different improvement that they suggested we could have used if we wanted to improve our double page spread. So the answers we got were, to spread out the images more, to use more text and smaller images, to make the date, time and channel more noticeable. The font size was too small, and also the title didn't stand out. So overall, from the target audience's feedback on our double page spread, I have learned that whilst they did enjoy the double page spread and the article, they felt that there are a number of things that we could have done to improve the double page spread and make it even more successful. For example, they felt that the date and time and channel name could have all been more noticeable, and the font size was perhaps a little bit too small for the double page spread itself. I feel as though if we had carried out some target audience research prior to producing our double page spread, we would have been able to successfully meet the needs of our target audience because we would have known exactly what they wanted to see. When we created our double page spread, we didn't actually know what the target audience would have preferred to see. We didn't know whether they would like more than one image, whether they would like one main image, what kind of font size they would like to see, or what kind of colour scheme they would prefer for a topic such as domestic violence. So if we had used some audience research before, we would have definitely been able to know exactly what the audience would have liked to see. So in summary, I'm happy with the way that all three products turned out. Firstly, the documentary. I feel as though the documentary worked well and went down well with our target audience. Many of them said that they had learned something new about domestic violence, because a lot of them didn't actually know what domestic violence was and what it entailed. As well as this, I'm happy with the way the double page spread turned out, and the audience enjoyed the double page spread, although there were various things that they felt could have been improved. I feel as though with the double page spread, we didn't follow typical conventions of a double page spread, as we didn't use one main image, but used more than one, which made our product different to others. As well as this, the radio trailer. I am pleased with the way that the radio trailer turned out, as I feel as though it was intense and accurately represented the topic of domestic violence. However, the audience would have preferred if we had used the music that we used in our documentary, as I felt it would have been more linked and integrated to our main product. So, if I were to do this again, I would ensure that I carried out some research before to know exactly what the target audience wanted to see,